What's up, everybody? Welcome into the recruiting rundown here on Gamecock Central. Kendall Smith and Wes Mitchell joining you here. We hope that you all are doing well. Wes, how are you? It's a big month for you. Happy August.
Yeah, I'm excited. Football on the way, Kendall. Recruiting, as we say, it never stops. And some big announcements coming up. Excited for some football on the field. I'm good. How are you, Kendall?
I am doing well with football about to start. That means baseball is still going on full strong. Everything is great. So, yeah, we're doing great here in Charlotte. It's been raining all week, but hoping for sunnier days to come. And very excited. I haven't watched it yet, but to tune into the Netflix documentary about South Carolina and any given Saturday. Can't wait to watch that. I know you've watched some of it. A lot of people on Twitter are talking about it. So, sound off below. Let us know what you think about it so far. But Wes has good reviews, so I can't wait to watch it. But we are here today not to talk about documentaries and Netflix. We are here today to talk about recruiting, as we do on the recruiting rundown, and a couple of guys that we really want to focus on here today, Wes, and talk about their commitment dates, guys that we feel like are in good shape in terms of becoming potential Gamecocks. So let's go ahead and kick things off. First off, want to talk about Amari Thomas, the four-star running back from Florida, is announcing tomorrow, Friday, August, 8th? Is today the 7th? Yeah, Friday,
Yep.
August 8th. He was once committed to Florida State. They're still kind of in the equation here. Georgia Tech is as well, Colorado, and then, of course, South Carolina. So with a guy like this, very solid running back that South Carolina wants to land, how are you feeling about where the Gamecocks are right now?
Yeah, so this is a kid that even though he was committed to Florida State, South Carolina has been recruiting him for quite some time. So this was not a situation where he decommitted and then they decided to try to get involved. They've been working him for quite some time. He did take an official visit in June. That visit went very, very well, to the extent that we were saying at the time, like, hey, Carolina could flip this kid, but you knew he was still going to take his visit to FSU. You knew that he's from right down the road from Tallahassee, so FSU kind of has the hometown team thing going. So it was kind of like, all right, did they do enough? And so then he did decommit from FSU. They are still involved, but I think right now, going into this announcement, which is set for Friday afternoon, going to be about 3:00 right now. By the time you hear this, he may have already committed, but I do feel like the Gamecocks are in a good spot here. They have prioritized him. They've built a really, really strong relationship with him. And Markel Blackwell really wants him as one of what could be two running backs out of the high school ranks in this class. And so we'll certainly find out Friday afternoon if they got the job done. But I think here we are, actually about exactly 24 hours until that announcement as we're recording this, Kendall, on Thursday. I think they feel really good. I think they should feel good. And, I think it's a guy they would really love to have. He is a high 3-star guy, according to the recruiting industry, but a 4-star, according to Rivals, the number 18 running back in the country, and somebody that they would love to have in the fold.
Well, Wes, as we talk about Thomas and his commitment date coming up tomorrow, we also look ahead because another important date coming up just 2 weeks from tomorrow on Friday, August 22nd, 5-star offensive lineman from Richmond, Virginia, Darius Gray, will be announcing where he will attend college and play college football. And we always talk about these big time recruiting battles that South Carolina is in. This is certainly one of them. So who are they going head to head with to try to land Gray? And then how confident do the Gamecocks feel about ultimately getting Gray to commit to South Carolina?
Yeah, Kendall, this is another one of those where you have like an official top 4, top 5, but then behind the scenes, there are maybe 2 schools going head to head or 3 schools kind of battling it out. Right now, it appears it is a South Carolina LSU battle. Now, Tennessee, Clemson, Ohio State, they're still in the official top 5. Among those kind of other 3 schools, I would say maybe Tennessee is your dark horse, just kind of leaning on what some of our national guys are hearing at On 3. But it has seemed like a South Carolina LSU battle for some time. This is a kid that South Carolina has had on campus over the last, I want to say maybe 3 years or so, just countless times. Like, I have no idea what that number would be. Like, they have been in on him early, often, have made sure that he knows that he is a priority. We know that staff, with Lonnie Teasley and Sam Serbay and that entire group that is sort of teaming up to recruit the offensive lineman, They do a fantastic job of getting these kids on campus and then, of course, getting them committed. Shane Beamer has personally been heavily involved here as well. I don't think you can completely count out LSU yet because we do have 2 weeks until he's going to announce. And as we have seen, Kendall, these things typically, especially for guys his caliber, there's a 5-star kid, depending on where you look, the number 1 interior offensive line prospect in the entire country. LSU is not going to go quietly, but I do think you have to feel pretty good if you're a Gamecock fan about where your team currently sits. And we will see if that remains the case over these next 15 days as they try to get to the finish line with Darius Gray.
Well, you obviously have guys like Gray, as you mentioned, that South Carolina has been working towards for a long time. He's been to campus a bunch, and they've really put in that work. And I love that side of recruiting. But something else that I love, too, are those late offers and those guys that, kind of fly under the radar a little bit. And then South Carolina gets their eyes on them, and they're like, okay, yeah, we think this could be a difference maker within our program. And a guy recently offered a late offer from South Carolina, Kaden Ramsey. He is an in-state guy, tight end, wide receiver from Cross, South Carolina. And he does not have a date yet that he's planning to commit, but later offer again, like I said, from South Carolina, someone they certainly see potential in. So what is the story with Ramsey, Wes?
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of Tristan Lewis, who we talked about a few weeks ago from Greenwood, who got the late offer and committed to South Carolina. They want to take 2 tight ends in this class, and they already have 1 committed. They want a second, and Kaden is someone they've kind of had their eyes on since at least the beginning of the year. They had him on campus then. They had him back on campus in June for a camp day and just spent some time with him then, watched him run a little bit, watched him move around, and they ultimately did deliver the offer. Sean Elliott, of course, who is South Carolina's tight ends coach, he is recruiting him for that tight end position. Now, even though he does play at a smaller school, smaller level of high school football, he mostly plays wide receiver and safety in high school. But they see him as this big framed, tall kid who can put on some weight at the college level and probably grow into one of those kind of hybrid athletic tight end prospects. So I do think South Carolina, especially with the kind of in-state factor you're going to have there, the opportunity to play for your home state school, I think South Carolina is probably in the best shape here. And we have seen them, as you pointed out, they have gone for the big guns. They've gone for the highly recruited guys, but they've also, I feel like, tried to not forget about the state of South Carolina. You can't forget that this state typically does put out some under-the-radar kids who end up developing and becoming major players at the college level. You don't want to neglect the athletes in the Palmetto State and then look up 2 or 3 years from now and be like, well, that guy's starring somewhere else. So I think they've tried to be cognizant of that. Again, Kaden Ramsey, not like that highly rated guy. He does have some other nice offers. Virginia Tech is involved. Syracuse, Georgia Tech involved as well. So some other Power 4 schools have started to take notice of his ability too. And it's just a case of South Carolina saying, look, we'll develop you. We'll get you in that strength program with Luke Day and those guys. They do a fantastic job. And it's just a super athlete. All those things are going to be his success if he does, ultimately go to South Carolina will be determined by, can you make that jump to the SEC from what is, a smaller level of high school football. But just a lot of very impressive athletic qualities with Kaden Ramsey.
Yeah, and we've seen, South Carolina go after those in-state guys that, again, aren't as highly recruited. The first name that always comes to my mind, and I think it always will, is a guy like Nick Eamon-Worry. He was not super highly recruited throughout high school, ended up committing to South Carolina, and you all know the story from there. So they've done a really good job with that, and just in-state recruiting too, especially going against a school like Clemson. You obviously got to stay on top of your game. South Carolina's certainly done that. And then on the flip side, in North Carolina have really, really improved recruiting across the Tar Heel State too. So it's been impressive to kind of watch the way not only they've maintained how well they've recruited in South Carolina, but adding some of that to the state of North Carolina too. I'm a little biased because I am in North Carolina right now. So I'm like, gotta recruit.
Well, you are from North Carolina too. So I was going to say, what state do you think is better, Kendall? Oh, on the spot.
Honestly, I love them both. And obviously I'm from North Carolina, but South Carolina has a really special place in my heart just because I went to school there and it's special to me. I'm from Charlotte. Like, South Charlotte. So I'm about 5 minutes from the border of South Carolina. So I grew up, if I wanted to go to dinner, like I could just drive to South Carolina and go to dinner and be there in like 5-10 minutes. So I don't know.
That was kind of believable. Like I thought you were going to go the political answer and not really answer. You kind of did, but we will accept you, Kendall.
I love them both, but I'm a Gamecock. Like that's like I went
to
be
an honorary South Carolinian.
So I'm going to say that I'm a Gamecock. Like that is just
there you go.
Where I went to school. So I'm always going to cheer for South Carolina, no matter what. So I think that's where I'm at. But I do love North Carolina. I love Charlotte, and I really enjoy Raleigh too. There's a lot of great areas out here.
So. Stop while you're ahead, Kendall. Stop while you're ahead. Just
love them both. Anyways, head over to GamecockCentral.com, everybody, and check out all of our latest news with recruiting, and we will keep you updated as we need to. You can also follow us on social media at Gamecock Central. There is certainly a lot coming, and with the season coming up, we keep talking about it, but a lot of visits that will be happening throughout games. And we are officially in August, which means South Carolina plays football this month. So yay and cheers to that. We cannot wait. But Wes, thank you so much for your time. As always, thank you everybody for watching. This has been the Recruiting Rundown here on Gamecock Central. He's Wes Mitchell. I'm Kendall Smith, and we will see you soon.